I was just about to call it a day. I've just done tomorrow's read. But Spirit says there's somebody waiting for a message. So let's see. We're going to use my new deck. And we're going to do the knife spread. And we'll see what help they can give you. Again, it's a situation. The hills you've got to climb to settle it. And what the outcome will be if you stay on the path. Let's see. That's the first one. There's the hilt. And this is the blade. Oh. They're giving us two. I'm going to take those two because it's obviously important. So, let's have a see. A past. The Matriarch of Blades. So that's the Queen of Swords. It's nurses, doctors, professional people, solicitors, lawyers, and spiritual leaders. Somebody who's detached, possibly a widow or divorcee, who makes decisions. Clear thinking. So let's see what it says. Matriarch of Blades. The feminine. Oh, it's not here. There it is, the matriarch. So the feminine comes first, which is very strange. Among the Apache, the Vakwi of the southwest, so southwest may be important, and the Shawnee of the east, so the east, women followed men into battle, so like a shield maiden. Sometimes fighting at their sides, but more often killing the wounded and taking scalps as a gesture attributed to white man's greed rather than red man's tradition. The wounded were not disposed of with a swift, clean and easy death. Torture is a Native American tradition. The brave had to prove himself to be just that, brave. So you're going to have to prove yourself in some way. And there'll be a price to pay. The Apache women were especially noted for their ingenuity in torture. And there is an old adage among many tribes, Minotaur savours from a Shawnee woman. So the Shawnee woman. Other tribes had their fighting women as well. The Cheyenne, for instance, had a small exclusive society of women who participated in war with their husbands. It was not uncommon for Sioux women to take the warpath and seek revenge for the death of someone dear to them. There are many stories of, I don't know how you say that country, let me know, O''Jibwa, Ojibwa women who sought the way of war. The yellow sands behind the Matriarch of the Blades accent the ominously blackened sky, so possibly the lunar eclipse. Her hair is unconventionally styled, emphasizing her individuality and strong-mindedness. So maybe it's someone with a very distinctive hairstyle. She is acutely perceptive, keenly observant, and is an accurate and subtle interpreter. She is confident in action and graceful in movement. She is one who has known great happiness and great sadness in its turn. So that's the past. The issue, or the mountain you have to climb, both in the upright. So 5 of Pentacles, cultivation. It is usually being ostracized, a bird in a gilded cage, but not in this case, it seems. We're cultivating something, so be careful what you cultivate. The shields, they call it the shields. So the 5 of Shields, agriculture again. To the Native American was no small business. An idea of the extent of corn cultivation can be estimated by examining the American records of the tremendous quantities destroyed during warfare from the early days of the colonies to the turn of the 19th century. So, destroying the crops. And we've heard rumours of that, haven't we? We are indebted to the Native American not only for corn itself, but also for planting and storing methods. Centuries before Columbus, Native Americans used a corn crib virtually identical to the common variety found on farms today. Irrigation is also an ancient practice. In the Salado Valley alone, the ancient inhabitants irrigated at least 250,000 acres. Furthermore, over half the varieties of vegetables grown in our gardens today come from Native American. It is fair to say that the Native Americans made extensive and significant agricultural gifts to this world. Cultivation shows rows of corn sprouting in apparently poor soil. So, poor soil, poor foundations. A bush, a tree, and barren foothills form the backdrop with a partly cloudy sky. The essence of cultivation is the possibility for abundance and even wealth, but there is also the possibility for worry, exhaustion from lack of attention to all aspects of life. So, what you own owns you. And the Sand Painter, 8 of Pentacles, 5 and 8 years. The Sand Painter. Pueblo elders tell that the gods were the first to make sacred pictures. The gods, however, evoked them in black clouds spread over the earth or lodge floor. The people used sand instead, since they did not have the ability of the gods. Sand was considered a very good medium because no one could steal sand paintings or the inherent power therein. So nobody can steal your power unless you allow it. These masterpieces, beautiful as they were created for one day only. They were endowed with natural significance. So, one day, and then it's gone. The chance. Their purpose being for the use of healing, or for the destruction of disease or evil. I've spoken here in the past tense, but sand painting is still used today as it was in antiquity. A medicine man, usually with helpers, has to work for hours to create the magic tapestry. The transitory image comes into being like a stained glass window, bit by bit. The trickle of crushed sandstone, pollen, or charcoal from a tree that has been struck by lightning. By sunset, however, it must be literally scattered to the winds, so evil spirits will not be drawn to the power and do mischief. So, a small window. There are scores of different designs depending upon the specific use for the ritual desired or the nature of the illness to be combated. For Sand Painter, we have chosen a more obscure design, one used as exorcism. So exorcising evil, getting rid of evil. Can you see? That's the devil in there in the middle. 3 8-pointed stars have been drawn at the corners of the triangle that encase a human figure with a coyote's head, sign of Capricorn. The medicine man is adding the finishing touches. The coloured sand he has been working with lie on special cloth in the background. The essence of the sand painter is luck through spiritual and artistic pursuits, but one must remain in tune with nature to stay grounded. So that is how you must attack this situation. Cultivate prosperity, and you've got a window of opportunity one day. The present situation, the ruin, when it's in the reverse, just as we like it. And we know this is releasing the swords or the arrows from your back, a betrayal or a passing. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. You cannot hurt me anymore. An end to pain, physical or emotional. So the Ten of Blades reversed. Careful actions could bring satisfactory results, so you have to go carefully. Tread slowly. And then the outcome, 2 cards in the reverse. The 5 of Stickball, somebody playing games, but they're not very friendly ones. And it will cause friction, competition, and separations. Somebody's made a wrong choice here. So, we'll start with the Stickball, as it's conflict and competition. The pipes. Dexterity and chance figure in. The ego gets in the way. Problems cause carelessness from overconfidence. So don't get too clever. Tread slowly and carefully. Or someone is overly confident, and it will be their downfall. It will cause a separation of some kind. Children, siblings, etc. So the Lovers reversed, the choice reversed, a bad choice. A separation. Tread slowly, slowly catch a monkey. Native American courting and sexual mores varied greatly from the tribe to tribe. So, in the Papago of southern Arizona, girls were not allowed to even speak to a male unless he was a relative, whereas Natchez girls amassed dowries with presents from the many lovers. Most tribal customs, however, were of the middle ground, where chaperoned dances, outings and picnics. But it's usually, if this is taken as the lovers, it's that there is always a backup, an extra in this situation. And we've got it reversed. So, flutes, which were much like European recorders, were required from a medicine man in the hopes that the maiden for whom the young brave played would stop and listen. If a girl liked the look of a young man, she would find out more about him from his female relatives in her peer group. In most tribes, the girl was the aggressor, and she would let a boy know. So it's the feminine in this situation. If he was liked at a dance or in a grove where he nonchalantly played his flute, she would gingerly kick at his moccasins. The lovers are in a grove of oak and willow. So the oak is Taurus, so we're in it. And, oh no, we've left it, haven't we? No, we haven't, we've come into it. Taurus, so that's relevant. And willow, Pisces. Also, Adam, Eve and Lily could be important. Strength and subtle beauty. A full moon lights the way, so the 5th and 6th of May. The maiden holds an empty bowl that waits to be filled. She listens to the melody of the flute played by a young brave who leans against a tree, a blanket over his shoulder. This card is the epitome of old axiom. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. The contradiction of anything is implicit within itself and is necessary for universal equilibrium. So you have to go slowly and carefully and make sure that your actions are pure. The plan of creation is perfect, but the nature of that creation is blurred and can take any form. It is dependent on the influences most prevalent on inception. So, what it's saying to you is go carefully. You are very clear about what must be done. But now, you've got to be careful not to make the wrong choice during an argument, it seems. Conflict and competition. This is not going to be easy. You have a rival, especially in love. So, it's up to you to take action. You have one day. Thanks for listening. Bye.